would you feel if you never ever have to be afraid of taking big leaps, of speaking your truth, and of daring to do? How often do you feel stuck at a point, having no courage to fight those necessary battles that you need to fight to live the life of your dreams? You know how they say, let the poor breathe. When it comes to fear, if it grips you, you no go fit breathe. And that is why on Reflections today, we are talking about moving from fear to freedom. Because at the end of the day, that is the life that we all desire. And to have this conversation with me today, I have a very, very beautiful woman. But before I get to her, don't forget that my name is still Cynthia Otuwaribo, and I'm still the beautiful host of Reflections. If you are new on this channel, please do me this favor of subscribing and also click the notification button so that you'll be the first to know when we have a new episode on. Now that we are done with that, let's meet our guest for today. She is a very vibrant foodpreneur. She does this so well, and I mean, she's going to talk to you about her food business. When it comes to stomach infrastructure, she tanda gidigba for every single one of us. She's also an administrator and a music minister. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the very beautiful Aderonke Bello. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
You have such a very lovely smile.
Thank you very much.
You know, the very first time that we connected, it was through food. Food is really important in this life, guys. And it was not just any kind of food. They sell meats.
Yes.
And it's not something I see a lot of women do. Let's even start from there. What inspired you into that line of business?
Oh, okay. So what inspired me into that business? So in 2018, okay, I was at home, married, and I wasn't doing anything in particular. And then I just felt like, what exactly can I do? What solution can I proffer to the problems around me? And it came to mind that I could start slaughtering meat and sharing amongst people, busy people, people that, to take the stress off them from going to markets, from doing the runs. It will give them more time to themselves. And then I started.
Not to cut you short, if you did not hear her, she said she started slaughtering meat. Slaughtering meat. That one is very, very important to me. So let's come back to you now.
Yeah, so I did the business for a while, and I stopped. And in 2020, we were praying. I love God so much, so I'm going to be talking about God a lot on this. And then we're praying, and then the Lord told me that His children some of them are sick, some of them die young because they have been fed with poison. And He's actually sending me into that field, not because I just want to make money, but because I have sanctified hands to feed His children with food that is not poison. And then He highlighted a number of meat sellers to me and showed me the things that they were doing and the things that were causing His children to be sick. Some of them die young. And then He asked me that He would have me stay on that mountain to save His children. So that is why after I stopped, I started again.
So what do you do differently from what other meat sellers are doing?
Okay, so for me, I pay attention to hygiene when we slaughter. Some of them, after slaughtering their meat, they've cut it. They will take it back to vulcanizer to help them to blow air inside.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I've used a lot of slaughter places in Abeokuta. I've gone to a slaughter place in Abeokuta. I don't want to mention the place. And they actually slaughtered a dead goat. Wow. And what they did was, after slaughtering it, they took out the offals and then they disposed that. And they sold it. So they used the blood of a fresh goat that they were slaughtering. They rubbed it on the meat.
People do that?
Yes, they do it.
Wow.
They do it. Some even they slaughter sick animals. So it's cheaper to buy a sick goat, a sick cow. They don't want it to die, so they will sell it to you at any price. Some of them are even dead. they will sell it to you at a cheaper price, and they will still make the same money they make selling it, the dead meat, as the meat that they bought that was alive.
Now, following up on what you just said, you are in a field where people do the wrong things.
Yeah.
To succeed.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you that, was there at any point where you were afraid of going into that line of business?
Yes.
Because you ask yourself, how do I thrive in this kind of setting?
Yes, I was afraid. By the way, I went to Babcock University. I did my first and second degree in Babcock, and in my mind, I'm like, how will a Babcock graduate be selling meat? Is that a good way to pay my father back after the investment he has done? But I thank God for an understanding father and mother, and my husband too was understanding, because who wants to be the husband to the girl that sells meat? But here we are. So for me, I was scared, because when the Lord showed me the things that he showed me, I was afraid to face those kind of people. And the fact that darkness is light, you don't have to have any conversation, they can identify light. And seeing light, in fact, I would have even started, I wanted to have like a place where we slaughter and we sell, and then the fear for me, why I've not started up till now, is the fact that I will have to face the panel of the association of the meat sellers. Where did I get my certification from? Which association do I belong to? Who approved me of having a space and all? And because of that, I just felt like running an online business for me would just be okay.
Okay, so for some persons, you know, just like you, they stand face to face with life-changing opportunities, but it is difficult for them to start. I like to share my own personal stories. When I first had the dream of having a talk show, it's at least 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, that's like more than, let's say, about half of my life.
Wow.
I've been having this dream. One day I want to be a talk show host. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what will give me a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction.
Wow.
But at every point when I want to start, I keep telling myself, are you sure people will listen to you? That fear held me back for more than a decade. And then I would give myself the excuses. You know, when fear holds you, you begin to see little things being magnified. You say, I don't have money. Oh, this person didn't support me when I did this one. They will not support me when I want to start. You know, begin to give yourself a lot of excuses. And it took me more than a decade to finally find clarity. And even when I was about to start it, eventually, I told myself, podcasts are everywhere. Who will listen to this? We have over how many thousand podcasts? Who won't listen? And something just kept telling me, why not start? And I remember I had this conversation with my husband, and he was like, you wouldn't know how deep the water is until you put one leg in. You test it with one leg, and then you see if you should move forward or not. There are so many persons who are at that point. Look at them, look at the water. They don't want to move forward. Fear just keeps coming, keeps overwhelming them. I can't do this. There are so many reasons why they cannot do it. What would you say to people who are at that point trying to consider, should I go? Should I come back?
Oh, so well, for me, I think facing it is just the answer to it.
How do you face the fears?
Okay, so for me, aside from my business, I've had to step out in faith to do some things for God. I've held meetings in Aderonke by God's grace. And we've had, the last one we had over 3,000 people attend. And
that you hosted?
Yes, at Cultural Center.
Wow.
And that's like the 3rd edition.
Wow.
And before that, in 2017, yes, 2017, I started hosting a meeting of worship leaders in Aderonke. And at those points, I knew that I had two options. I had the option to either not do it or to do it. And so the things I was thinking about at those times, at that time I was attending Christ Apostolic Church. And in Christ Apostolic Church, where I was born and raised, things like that do not happen. And the first issues I had with at that time was, who would listen to me? Who would listen to a CAC girl? Who wants to hear her? There are lots of, at that time, there were Pentecostal churches in Abeokuta. At least I know a number of Pentecostal churches in Abeokuta at that time. And I was comparing myself to all the people that I knew at that time. But then I just knew that this has to be done. And for me, I have this thing that I do. If I perish by doing it.
I like that.
Regardless, we're doing it. And all the times that I've stepped out, so have I been disappointed? Yes, I have. We even had one particular edition that I was this close to running mad. My husband was like, I will return you to your parents. Because you came to my house whole and healthy in one piece. You are not going to go. I will not call them that you died or you run mad. So your father and mother will see you like this and they will know that it's not me. Because I will not watch myself. And we got to that point because I was disappointed. So God had told me that He was going to provide, and we did some tickets. We had speculations that if you sell this ticket, we'll make this amount of money. It will sort this, it will sort that, it will sort this. People that were expected to give us 500, no, like 50,000, give us 500 naira. It means that we were running on debt, and I did not have hope. I ran on the destruction of hope. And that time I made up my mind that after that, God is fine.
Do again.
Just stay in heaven while I stay on the earth. Nobody's booking out to be fine. And I kept that grudge in my mind for a long time. Till 2021.
Wow.
Yes, I was going to church, I was leading powerful worship sessions. And I just told God, I can lead worship. They can invite me. But don't try me. Don't tell me to do anything for you. If you try me, you will not like it. Wow. Yes, there are a lot of things that we cover under our clothes, and we cover up with, come and lift your hands and begin to worship. And people don't know. And me, so the first time we did a song in church, I surrender to you. And it dawned on me that there's a part of me that I've not still surrendered, that there's a barricade. And that day, because I wanted the song to bless people, I didn't want to say something that I'm not doing. Before the morning of the administration, I had to let it go.
Wow.
And that day I settled with God, and I told God that, okay, so we're having issues, so yeah, come, let's settle it. And we settled it, and that was how I overcame that phase. So the fear came back again, and it made me timid. It made me feel like I don't want to step out again. And in 2022, God asked me to start this, the program I told you about, Tent of Testimony. And
yes. TOT.
Yes.
I've seen your banners at different places. You are the organizer.
Jesus is the organizer.
I'm sitting with a celebrity
I'm
here.
the representative.
Are you serious?
Jesus is the organizer. I'm just the face that Jesus is using.
Wow.
Please don't believe me. I'm just the face that Jesus is using. And that was how I stepped out in 2022. And yes, God told me that my obedience, my process and all of those things, for my obedience so far, for giving Him, He entered into a covenant with me, and it's a covenant that has been making things happen. In 2022 we did the first edition, 2023 we did the second edition, 2024 we did the third edition, and it's going from glory to glory. It's funny how somebody wants to do a program now and they are like, the person that did lights for Tent of Testimony, the person that did sound for Tent of Testimony. If I want my media guy, the person that does our media went for a meeting today, and they told him the reason they called him to that meeting was because they said it's the person that did the media for Tent of Testimony that they want for the program. Like, God, I see you. And they will not understand the things that had happened before that Tent of Testimony came to be.
They won't understand the trials before.
No, that somebody almost ran mad.
This is really a motivating one for me. You've made quite a lot of points that I'm picking. The first one, it's okay to fail. It's not the end. Because you've mentioned, I did this and I stepped back, and I did it again and I stepped back. It's okay to try again. So if you're watching us right now, you have tried to do something and it didn't work out. It's not the end of life. Just like Aderonke Bello, pick yourself up. Do it again. If you still fail again, do it all over again. Who knows? You get the one way go blow.
Yes, no.
If the first one will blow, the second one go blow.
Yes, no.
We keep going. For somebody listening to us right now, they are wondering, the fear is still there. What are some of those things that you think can elevate fear in a person? Elevate fear and keeps them stuck from moving. Use your own personal experience. What are those elements that just held you back at different points? I can't do this.
Well, for me, I think the fear of who would listen, the fear of, for business, the fear of who would buy, the fear of will anybody see this as, like, will anybody see any sense in this? The fear of failure, basically, all the time, really. The fear of failing at every point has held me back at different points. So that's it for me.
And at the end of the day, it's always worth it to try.
Yes, it is.
I think that is my summary from this conversation. It is always worth it to try, because you never know. Your last words to our viewers, our wonderful food sellers. Your last words to our viewers before we say goodnight.
Okay, so I just want to tell you that you can do it though. If you can see it, you can do it. The only thing, like in the scripture, it says, as far as your eyes can see. And if you are able to see it, just place that picture. For me, it is always that I know the thought that I have towards you. Fear the Lord. Thought of good and not of evil. To give you an expected end. My eyes is always fixed on the expected end. How we'll get there, I don't know. I can cry on the way, it's okay to cry. I can break down, I'm fine. I will break down gladly, because the strength of God is made manifest when I'm weak. So it's okay to be weak. But trust me, so far you can see it, you can do it. That's it for me.
And that's a wrap on tonight's episode of Reflections. Take that stand and look around you. How far can you see? It can be all yours if you make the bold step to move. Till I come your way again next week, I am still Cynthia Otowaribo, saying have a blessed and fear-free week ahead. Bye-bye.